All right, time now for our business update. And Yuka Roye joins us here on the set, starting with our top story again, the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, and these effects now being felt beyond Houston, Texas, beyond Texas itself.
Beyond Texas itself, the costs of the hurricane are estimated to run into billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars rather, in property damage alone. But people in New York, Chicago and the rest of the US are also having to pay more at the pumps as the storm struck the heart of the US oil and gas sector and knocked refineries offline. Solange Mujan reports.
Out of gas. That's what the signs on these pumps in Dallas say. Shortages due to Tropical Storm Harvey. The floodwaters have hit all of Texas's major oil centers. That's led to major disruptions to the Colonial Pipeline, the giant conduit that takes gas from oil-rich Texas to the eastern seaboard. And that means prices at the pump are rising, and not just in Texas.
We could expect to see anywhere between a 20-cent to 40-cent gallon rise in the price of gasoline over the next several weeks. Now, I do not expect that to last because, similar to 2008, 2005, I would suspect that the market will work out its issues within a month's time.
After Hurricane Katrina in 2005, gas prices soared by 40 cents in a day. So far, the national average price has jumped by around 10 cents. And the futures market has spiked, with investors betting on what the price of gasoline will be in the coming weeks and months. The U.S. Energy Secretary said about a third of the U.S. production is offline. And he called for officials to be vigilant about price gouging, now that there are long lines at the pump.
Anybody that is considering raising prices above what would be considered to be appropriate need to watch out. And my hope is that every attorney general across the country will go after those people and go after them in a very hard way.
To stabilize prices, Perry has released 500,000 barrels from the U.S.'s reserves, the same U.S. stockpile of crude oil that Donald Trump has vowed to cut by half in the next decade.
As we just heard in that report, gasoline futures are at two-year highs in New York at the moment. Here in Europe, trading just got underway a short while ago. Shares are all trading in the green, following a rise on Wall Street. Carmaker Volvo's shares jumped over 5% at the open after it released new financial targets.
Now, in North America, a second round of negotiations on revamping the regional free trade agreement starting today.
That's right. The US, Mexico and Canada are set to dive into the details of updating the North American Free Trade Agreement amid repeated threats from Donald Trump to scrap the deal. The five-day talks are starting today in Mexico City, and negotiators will discuss how to modernize the 1,700-page agreement. The US president has doubled down on his anti-NAFTA rhetoric recently, saying Mexico was being difficult. But the Mexican economy minister says his country and Canada will remain in the deal even if the US leaves it. Now let's take a look at some other business headlines at this hour. The US agency in charge of enforcing labour law has filed a complaint against Tesla, saying it found merit to workers' accusations about unfair labour practices there. The board says that Tesla violated workers' rights by forcing them to sign overly broad confidentiality agreements. It is also investigating the company for allegedly intimidating and harassing staff. Tesla denies the allegations. South Korea's Samsung has received the green light from authorities in California to start testing driverless cars there. The company has already been conducting tests on its home turf in South Korea since May. The phone giant will join Apple, who got an authorization earlier for California tests. And here in France, the blue-chip companies listed on the CAC 40 together made 52 billion euros in profits in the first 6 months of this year. That's up 26% from the 41 billion euros they made last year in the same period. Car makers and luxury retailers were among the top earners.
And finally, the suspense is over for iPhone fans. Apple has set a date for the release of the new model. Tell us more.
Not quite. Apple is still keeping its mouth shut about that, but the company has sent out invitations to its next event set for the 12th of September. Although the tech giant didn't give away details, simply saying, as you can see, let's meet at our place, meaning the new Steve Jobs Theatre, it's widely expected it will unveil 3 new iPhones, including a new generation model. Speculation is rife, though, that some secrets are already being given away in this colourful logo on the invitation. Many taking to Twitter, offering their own analysis, some suggesting that the new phone will have an OLED screen, and others are suggesting it will have a facial recognition feature.
Are you going to buy one, Yuka?
I still have iPhone 5.
All right. Yuka Roya with a roundup of the business news.